It's Chillmonger. It's Mike of the Rogue Comics fame. Mike, you read comics? You like reading comic
I
books?
hate them. I
You
hate
know,
them. I loathe them.
you're just in it for the
Worst
money, huh?
medium ever. Yeah, dude, grip. Yes. All about the money.
Okay, the relationship between comic books and the big two, Marvel would be CB Cebulski, and DC, it's not Dan DiDio, it's Jim Lee. Okay. The relationship is not one that I can say I'm a master of, but there's something that was brought to my attention. Thank you to Comic Boom. Rocky showed me this. It's a screenshot, and I want to read to you what was written from Big Bang Comics. You saw this, right? I let you know about it,
Yeah. Yeah. I saw
so
it.
you already have prepared thoughts. Lack of pre-orders plus high price means that I'm ordering G.O.D.S. #1 at a tenth of what I ordered House of X #1. Can you explain what exactly that part means?
Well, God's #1. That's the new Hickman book that's coming out, and Hickman's been away for a while, since the pandemic. Actually, he disappeared. Nobody could find him. But this is a new book.
No, what does he mean though by the 1/10? I mean, not the 1/10. I know what
Oh,
1/10
oh,
is,
oh, oh.
10%. But when he says that there's a lack of pre-orders plus high price means I'm ordering Gods at 1/10.
Well, I guess in his store he does pre-orders for the books. So I mean, unless you get money up front or whatever, pre-orders to me are useless because I can say, hey, chill, you want to buy this book? And then you say, yeah. And then 2 months later, when it comes out, it drops. You're like, you're in another country or something like that. Or, yeah, I don't want it anymore, or whatever. So I'm stuck with it. So,
Thankfully, I have a relationship like that where I get my comics. And I've also heard that horror story where someone will be like not collecting their books and 6 months will pass. And I'm like,
mhm.
why are you still ordering this person's books? Yeah, because they did this to me a couple years ago. Don't worry, this is normal. And I'm like, wow, what a stressful environment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
it's
very
terrible.
bizarre. It's a very bizarre. Sorry, it's a very bizarre thing. I mean, there's a little amount of trust involved. I don't necessarily do it for a lot of people. I mean, I do have a couple, people that have that status. They're almost like they're kind of like the chill members, the of Row Comics. Like, it's just and I mean, like, midnight is if they can't get here until then or whatever, I'll come in and open up and and let them buy and stuff like that. But yeah,
Okay.
it's a very weird relationship. But
No, I
yeah,
understand it. I
and
understand it.
they're complaining also. He's also complaining about the fact that I think God's is $9.99, and the problem with that, I don't know what it is, unless it's because Jonathan Hickman has a tendency to do graphs and charts and stuff like that, and that can get a little, you're like, if there's 90 pages in each book or whatever, and like 10 of those pages are graphs and charts
You're
or whatever. I
you're
mean,
taking a side note. The
oh,
problem with the price,
yeah,
from my understanding, is that you as the comic book shop goes, "Ooh, do I want to order 40 comics of this
okay.
when it's so
Frankly,
expensive?" Because if 5 of these comics don't sell and only 35 of them sell to the customers, I'm left with 5 comics that are $10 each, and that would be what, $50 that I'm not gonna get, I'm not gonna see, as opposed to if these were regular $4 comics.
there's this channel that I watch. It's not necessarily my favorite channel, maybe second, third, maybe fourth or something. And he always advocates for using like name writers on things. And Jonathan Hickman is a name writer. So I would not hesitate to buy a $10 book from Jonathan Hickman.
Okay, but the guy over here who writes the tweet, Big Bang, is it? He's saying that the high price is partly part of the problem. Then he says lack of pre-orders. What does he mean by lack of pre-orders though? He's lacking the pre-orders
Yeah, yeah, for his store. And
because he's
this is
being
this
conservative. So 'cause
yeah.
he's basically saying that part of the issue is my unwillingness to do what you just did, which is realize it's Jonathan Hickman. So
Yeah. Well,
you
see,
know,
you have to this is part of we've had this discussion too regarding like variant covers and stuff like that. You have to know your customer base, and you have to know what you could potentially sell, whether it's through the store or other avenues or whatever. So
yes,
if there's a, and let's just for the sake of this discussion, let's pretend Jonathan Hickman was an artist and there was a 1 in 200 super variant that he drew. You have to be sure as a business owner, as a store owner, that you can flip that 1 in 200, and anything else after that, that's gravy. That's
yeah.
bonus. That's profit right there. So if he's saying there's like I don't know, that's a weird book to. I mean, I don't know what he's trying to say here. Is he trying to say that like there's no? I mean, nobody knows anything about it. I mean, there have been like these one-page things in certain books or whatever that have been going on for a couple weeks now. I haven't read any of them, but
Well,
apparently,
it's a Doctor Strange book, not an Amazing Spider-Man, not an X-Men, not
okay.
an Avengers, not a Fantastic Four. Doctor Strange is the
Mhm.
primary kind of hero that we're familiar with as they advertised.
Well, see, if this was like, I mean, I can come up with a bunch of names, but I won't. But if this was someone other than Jonathan Hickman and who isn't in like the Tom King, Zdarsky, Taylor, whatever, like I don't understand the hesitation, like as far
All
as
right.
this is
So you're
concerned.
telling me you ordered just as many gods as you get for Batman. It was not an issue for you. Oh,
I ordered what I think I could sell plus a little extra.
yeah, I know you're not going to give me the exact number because I'm not trying to pry into your business. But tell
Mm.
me, is that Avengers level? Is that Daredevil level? Is that Batman, Spider-Man? How like what?
I say Spider-Man.
You got the Spider-Man amount
Yeah,
of comics. Okay,
yeah.
understood. I have to give some credit to Big Bang. I have to give some leeway to him, and I kind of agree that it is a risk to take. And I'm just gonna sell
Hill,
what I know.
every book is a risk.
Not
This
more.
is
This is more so risk. This is the number one of a non-established title. We've
But
never
this
had a.
is number one of a non-established title written
You're
by
right.
Jonathan Hickman.
You're right, and that is why we know it's not going to be however many you ordered for. I don't know the Future Foundation. We know it's going to have a big order. So, but so
Yes.
yeah. Anyways, he's 1/10.
Well, it'll
It's
it have
crazy.
prestige. It'll be well written at least. It'll be intriguing because even I know there's a YouTuber that I watched that did a video on Ultimate. Was it Ultimate? I can't even remember the one that he's doing now, right now, the 4-issue miniseries. Number 3 came out last week, I think it was, and I mean, it was okay. It just I don't like the Ultimate Universe to begin with, so I feel he's being wasted there. But if he wants to do it, like in fact, in the tweet, Cebulski responds and says, I think maybe what Big Bang Comics was trying to get at was
Yeah.
that perhaps the $10 price tag for the number one book is too much, and maybe had they split it up. But according to Cebulski's response, this is what Hickman wanted.
Okay,
So he
let's read.
felt
Let's read more. Well, let me read everything. It says pre-orders even lower than Ultimate Invasion number
Ultimate
one,
Invasion. That's
which
what it
which
was.
is
Yeah.
which is kind of ridiculous. If you ask me, you should have the same amount of Ultimate Invasion number one because this is a recent Jonathan Hickman book
Mm-hmm.
that would I would get exactly how much. I'm just saying, and I'm not a Big Bang. I'm no insults to you, sir, you or ma'am. You know more than comics than I do. I just
Yeah.
think that it's fair. Did you get the same amount of Ultimate Invasion ones as you did
Yes, I
G.O.D.S.
did.
one?
I did. I did.
Yes. We're going backwards, folks, not forward. Okay. Respect to that opinion. It's hard out here. CB Cebulski comes in. Firstly, before we even read what he has to say, I do like the interaction here between
Hold on.
them. What? What? Did he just flip out? Did he say no? The big two, or is he at work right now, Rogue Comics, selling comics, and he's got somewhere to be? It's all good. I'll read the CB Cebulski and I'll give you my take first. He says, your concerns never fall on deaf ears. Good answers. But it's 3 issues of content we did not break up at the creator's request. They didn't break it up at the creator's request. Meaning Jonathan Hickman said the layout of this story, the presentation of it, does require it to be in 3 issues. I don't consider that burying Jonathan Hickman and not being a team player. It's just the truth, right? And by saying that it's the creator who requested it, you're actually helping the story improve. You're not improving, but you're selling it and you're validating the presentation of the comic book. So I'm
Well,
just saying.
you're also going by his wishes. Sorry about that. It was UPS and our nemesis, our nemesi. But yeah, it was
Inside joke.
it's definitely what Jonathan wanted. So you know what when you're at a certain level, you have like that stuff where you can do certain things, and he wanted it told this way, and they acquiesced.
Just like Hoxpox, he wanted week after week, and issue
Yep.
3 will happen here, but issue 4 will happen, and then you got to get 3 to 4 in Powers. Remember that? Remember how the schedule was different?
Well, dude, they had the little map, the little thing in the back where you could read. You have to read it in this order, and that structure is good sometimes, especially when you have somebody like him.
At the creator's request. We've tried to make clear it's 60 full pages of story. You got me? No data pages. Happy to speak about this directly if you like. Do you approve or disapprove of CB Cebulski right now for what he just did there?
For that particular thing,
That interaction.
I approve, but I don't know if I agree with the first sentence. But other than that, I approve of everything else.
You disagree with the first sentence. Elaborate.
Yes. I don't think they listen to retailers. I don't. I think they know what they have, or they think they know what they have, or they think what they think they have, and what we say doesn't matter. But
what could they do for you? Could they say DC would be like, we know Batman comes every 2 weeks.
they could
Spider-Man
do what
comes.
you say. They could do what you always say.
Well,
Put good writers on good books.
There's that, but also to manage what the issue is here, the comic book problem that is right now is that I don't know how to pre-order exactly for a new book. Now, if this is issue number 5 of Black Panther, which I got 4 in my hands right now. Issue 5 will come out a month from now, and we know every shop in America knows exactly how many issues of Black Panther because they've had this, since this happened, Black Panther since 4 months ago, they've had a steady customership, and they know exactly how much to order. You can't say that for these, so I understand why. Now, how could DC and Marvel really do you guys solid? Is giving you an extra Batman and an extra Spider-Man every single.
No.
Don't interrupt me. Hold on. Let me give you the suggestion, the full suggestion. We know that you guys are going to be taking a lot of risks when it comes to what to order for new number ones and whatnot. So every single month or every even week, if there's a Batman, we at DC, here's 2 complimentary issues of Batman, just because we know you guys are going to be.
I was going to tell you that Marvel specifically have done that in the past. Now, mind you, I don't know if it's necessarily because they're trying to Mariah Carey the numbers, or if they're actually, they want to do something nice for retailers. I think it might be a little from column A and a little from column B, but they have done that in the past.
We don't see the numbers on Comic-Con anymore, so I guess they done that since.
Although I saw somewhere, I don't remember who it was, but apparently they do. Everybody does want the numbers out there, but I don't know how, since there's more than one place that's doing it now, and it would take a little while, but at least that's what was put forward in the video. However, here is my solution to this problem. Returnability.
Too expensive.
Not too expensive. What you do, and this is the thing too, because I understand some people might say, oh, if you allow people to return, if you make the book returnable or whatever, then you get people ordering 1,000 copies or something like that. Make it within, you have I don't know, say maybe you can order 10% more than what you normally order. So if, say I order 10 copies of Black Panther, then they'll allow me to order, an additional, well, actually,
Hit shop is in a pretty white neighborhood, everybody.
So say actually Bridgeport is the biggest city in the state of Connecticut, and we are the most diverse. But anyways, so that would be, and that was just a hypothetical number.
I'm playing, man.
So let's say say 50%, then I would be able to order 15 copies that would be potentially returnable. And not only that, but say they can also shave a little off, not give us the entire amount that we pay for.
Fine. Hey, look, every week can't be a returnable week. Return weeks happen first Wednesday of each month.
Wait, no. Because see, my understanding, and this is the thing that really chaps my ass about the whole manga narrative. Barnes and Noble, when you walk in and you're surrounded by walls and walls of manga, do you know how much they paid for that?
If they don't sell, nothing.
I'll give you a hint. It rhymes with 0. Okay. They've paid if they came to me and said, hey, you want to have a wall of manga? You don't have to pay for it. We'll just send you stuff and you throw it in there. And if it sells, then you pay us. And if it does, it doesn't. I'll be like, sure. Yeah, absolutely. So I don't want to hear any of this bullshit, any of this crap about how this is why that's in the store, not because it's selling well, but because they don't have to pay for it. So when you flood the market like that, then of course somebody's gonna be, oh, you know what, this is intriguing. This is the thing. Why are you mad? Oh no, because this is no. Because see, I don't mind Barnes and Noble. I like bookstores. I like them. They're the one in Milford I do like. But it's like this narrative that's been put forth by as we were talking off screen, by this certain type of YouTuber that is disingenuous.
Wait,
With
wait,
this
wait, wait,
whole
wait, wait. Clear that up. As we were talking about off stream, a certain type of YouTubers. Do you mean people who are shills? Because that's the conversation we're having.
shills, grifters, same thing to me, honestly. Because
Which
they're not they're the anybody that does something that they wouldn't back up a day from now, a year from now, 5 years from now. Like
okay.
they say it and they actually mean it. I mean, if I got that feeling from you, I would not be giving you my time right now on a Wednesday, which is when I have to start getting prepared for the day. But there are a lot of those people on YouTube, and it's sad because I do think that in one way or another they do affect people's opinions about things, whether directly or subconsciously. When you start complaining about a lightsaber being not being a death blow or something like that, getting stabbed with a lightsaber. I mean, stop. Like, and there's people over there trying to give us the anatomy or the physiology of a human being or something like that. Like, see, well, when Qui-Gon did this, it it was like melting the steel or whatever, but he was holding it in there and like twisting it and turning it and making it all dramatic because that's Ginny, and all he does is he's an alcoholic and he's running around Tatooine. Like, forget it. But anyways, so yeah, it's just the narratives. So there's a lot of narratives that have, I mean, especially like during the pandemic, it really multiplied. And there's a lot of people out there saying stuff just to say it, and it's under the guise of entertainment. But when you start crying like a little baby about whether you can select a pronoun or not, then perhaps you need to step away from whatever social media you're on. And as far as the manga thing, I understand.
Yeah, the point that you were trying to bring
Yeah,
up with
that
manga,
was the
the
point.
returnability, sure, yeah.
The point is that people are going to believe what they want, and here's the other thing too. This is the one thing with Cebulski. My store is what I know. What happens here might not happen at another store.
Yeah.
What happens at another store might not happen here or anywhere else. We're all individuals, so I can say, you know what, Deadpool really doesn't sell. I mean,
Bro, I get your point. I get your point. You don't have to provide a secondary example. I got what you meant when you said what happens in my store doesn't sell at other stores. You didn't need to bring.
So when you get on Twitter and you start declaring things,
yeah,
then you're not really speaking for me or somebody else, because our experiences could be different. But unfortunately, when you get on Twitter, when everybody gets on Twitter, they're all declarative. This is the worst thing ever. This isn't selling. That's not, whatever the case may be, whatever your agenda is. So I do believe people could see, and I know people complain about it, a $9.99 book, if it's all like fluff. Like there was a Nort book that came out last week, but it was like one of those, like it was like a throwback, because in the 90s they used to do like the Marvel swimsuit issues where they had like pinups and stuff like that, and it was like literally, so it was like it was like Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, and they were drawing like full page of Cable in a Speedo with Jean Grey in a bikini and stuff like that. And it was like lighthearted. I mean, you'd get good art out of it if it was good, if it was indeed good. And so that's what they did here. But they also had like maybe one or two stories. I think there might have been 3 stories in there. But yeah, but that, I mean, this is the thing. This is the thing that always bothers me. Nobody, meaning stores, is ever required to order something. Even the things like, say, for instance, the ratio variants.
Yes, they are. Okay, let's
They
not do
are
ratio.
not.
Let's not do
Stop
ratio variants. Let's stay on G.O.D.S.
No, because this is part of it. Like,
it's not. He's not having a ratio variant issue.
No. But Marvel's not forcing him to order any copies.
But Marvel's not helping him with the judgment he's got to make, which he doesn't know. Like, it's valid for him.
But we don't. Nobody ever knows. Nobody ever knows. That's a retailer.
So now Marvel and DC need to allow the comic book shops to know, hey, you guys can misguess, you can misestimate, and don't worry, first book's on us. They should be able to do that.
So you're saying like returnability kind of thing?
A returnability policy is
I just said that. Yeah.
But how do you do returnability in the
What do you mean?
comic book space, because who wants to pay an extra charge of returning the
You know
comic?
what,
And you know,
dude? If I had to pay a quarter for each copy that I returned, I would be okay with that.
here's how I would do returnability. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and that's great. That's a great suggestion. I would ask Marvel and DC to open up comic books at your local pharmacy on the spinner rack, and the only comics, most of the comics that go there are the returned comics. You
Mm,
think the spinner rack regular
yeah,
casual cares that
that's
this
good.
comic
Yeah.
is like? Let me finish. Oh
No,
my,
no, no, no. I agree. I wholeheartedly. And here's the other thing. Let me tell you this too.
yeah.
DC used to do these things called retailer roadshows, where they would travel to like the major cities. And this is back 2011 when they started. They were pimping out the New 52. The very first retailer roadshow I went was for that one. And there, while I was there, another retailer was trying to get names for retailers, because what he was going to attempt to start was that, see, there's this thing, and this is going to variant covers too, where if you order 200 variant covers to get that one variant, chances are you might sell 10, 20, depending on how much traffic you have, 30, 40 of those copies, whatever. Marvel treats that as a sellout. You know, if there are no copies left, it's sold. It's a
Uh-huh.
sellout, and then they'll do an additional printing. So that means that you order 200 and you only sold 25. That means you have 175 copies just sitting there. Now, me, a little store out in, backwards Bridgeport over here, I ordered 20. I sold out of my 20. I go to Marvel to reorder some more copies. They're sold out. That means my customers, if I have any that are looking to get it, they can't get it. So I say to you, hey, chill, you have 20 copies I can buy off you. You sell them to me at the price. You get rid of your 20 copies and you still make a profit, because I'm assuming you sold the 1 and 200,
Uh-huh.
and I get the books. My customers are happy. I'm happy. You're happy. There you go. But
Teamwork.
but nothing ever came of it, because you know what? This is an inbred industry. Okay. Nobody talks to anybody else. It's all cutthroat. Like I don't even want to get into my personal things, but yeah, that's the thing. Nobody, and the companies themselves. And I even said to them, I'm like, why don't you, like, you guys in your system, in Marvel's system, or this at this time it was Diamond, in their system, they could have, oh well, it's sold out of from us, but we can put you in touch with a retailer that does have it, and then you guys, we'll wash our hands. And they said to me, and I'm not making this up, well, they would want to know what's in it for them. I'm like, how about the store staying open, a customer being
You know,
satisfied? I mean, you
and
know,
there's no loss. They don't lose anything from it.
exactly. It's already sold, yeah. But they would want something from that. And I'm like, you guys, you don't have to ship it. You have no invoicing, no nothing. You just introduce them. You're just the glue between the two potential retailers. That's it. You set up you're basically the pimp. You're introducing the person to the
Sure.
potential, and that's how that goes. And they wanted no part of it. So, and this is, and then and mind you, this is just for the books that where you order a superfluous amount of stuff, and stuff like that. But I mean, even something else. I mean, if there's, if there was some sort of a site like this where, let's say I order like 30 copies of I don't know, X-Men, the one that just came out today, the one that's leading into the Tony Stark and Emma Frost thing, and it doesn't sell, then I can say, hey, you know what, I'll put 5 copies up on there, and if a retailer needs it, then they can go there and order it, whatever else. But I
That'd
don't
be a
know.
nice thing to do. Back to my spinner rack now.
Yeah.
So in the
But I like that too. I like that too, definitely,
so in the East Coast,
especially locally. Yeah.
can I?
Yeah. Good. Oh no, I'm agreeing with you. I'm reinforcing you. Go ahead.
It's the spinner rack idea where you just find a pharmacy, and not a chain of pharmacies. I mean, like,
Yeah.
biggest pharmacy in the city of New York. Everyone has an understanding that should we not have, should we need to return comics, we return all the comics back to Marvel, and then Marvel goes, okay, all the comics that have been returned to us, don't worry though, because we have this new customer, which isn't the LCS, the secondary customer, which is that on Third Street in New York City, that pharmacy. CVS is the popular one in America, right?
Mm-hmm.
That CVS
Walgreens.
is the biggest CVS in town, and we know that they have shelf space or space for a spinner rack, and we're gonna introduce these comics to that audience. And when people go shopping for their drugs and their literally drugs like vitamin D and stuff,
Mhm.
when they go and comic books, they recognize them from the movies. Now it's in front of their faces. $4 isn't too pricey. You think they care that Spider-Man came out 6 months ago? Hopefully not 6 months ago, but you think they really care? No, they're gonna see that. Oh, that's Spider-Man issue number 30. Oh, look, 31 is right next to it. I'm gonna pick up two, and you never know. You never know. So if Marvel and DC can do that, so Marvel would have like their East Coast store of returnability, then they'd have one down south, then they'd have one in the Midwest, LA, somewhere like up in Seattle, a
See,
Canadian.
I don't know how difficult it is for something like that to happen because DC tried to do something where they were in Walmarts. And
I'm familiar.
first of all, retailers weren't too happy about that because apparently they were going to have new stories in there that we didn't have, but eventually they did reprint them. But yeah, so I don't know. Like, I'm sure there's politicking involved in all this other stuff. Like, we can sit here, like you and I did, and see in like the span of 26 minutes, we've come up with solutions. Even one of the solutions was back from 2010, and nobody's done it, since. So, I mean, it's not something difficult to come up with. It's the execution. It's the getting the people to actually put some effort into it, which is the problem. And this is why they fail, because they don't, they're not very forward thinking, I
They
guess.
made dumb decisions. DC making exclusive brand new comics available to the Walmart audience. They weren't Walmart audience. That was actually comic book people going to Walmart to pick
Yep,
them up. You
yep.
didn't introduce it to no new audience, but the new audience, with all due respect, the casuals who are not watching this right now, you guys don't know the difference. So take.
But see, but you gotta hope that you can, as a store owner or as someone who's not a casual, say you introduce someone who is a casual or a normie to this stuff and then take it from there. You have to help foster it. Getting on stream and doing videos about how this sucks and this is the worst thing ever and there's all self inserts and blah blah blah. That's not going to endear any new people to this thing.
New people aren't checking for that though. You were never gonna talk to new
That's
people.
not, dude. If you
Comics
could,
Explained can attract the new people.
I don't know who that is.
Rob, the guy from Denver.
No.
Oh, let me tell you something, Jonathan Hickman.
No.
No, you don't know Comics Explained?
I literally, there's two, and I'm going to put you comic book adjacent. There's two main comic book people that I watch, and it's not that I don't watch any of that. Like what's the other one, Historian or something, or where they read comics on. Yeah, dude, I can read comics on my own.
Why you gotta take shot? Hey Benny, if you're watching, it's all good.
No, it's not a shot. I mean, hey, you know what? That's whatever. Yeah, that to me, that's a kid. No, never mind. But anyways, go ahead.
I think we're about done with the suggestions. Hey, if CB Cebulski coming at him, whatever he's gonna DM in private, I don't know. Is he gonna say, "Oh, yo, look, we're not gonna tell all the shops, but the average shop has been ordering this. So a shop of your size has been ordering this many. I hope that helps." Like, what's CB Cebulski gonna say in this private conversation that he's, he alluded to be talking to him. He said, "Happy to speak about this directly if you like." I don't know. Maybe CB Cebulski will give him some helpful tips, right? Or maybe he's just fronting for the public.
No, maybe he's going to give him a copy. And this is the other thing that bugs me about this too. I mean, DC's been doing it because, in fact, I've already read Wonder Woman, even though it comes out in 2 weeks. I read it last week and it was actually really good. The art in there is fabulous. And Batman and Robin, I think, which comes out next week, I read, and the Batman that came out. So they are, but as someone who likes the tactile, like the paper and stuff like that, like I don't like doing that because I want the experience of reading a comic book, not staring at the screen like I am now reading it digitally. But I understand that in this day and age or whatever, that's the way they want to do it. But I don't know exactly when they print these things compared to, so maybe they can do like an initial run where they could send one. And this is the other thing too. There are some retailers out there that can't keep their mouths shut. So if certain things happen in certain books, like say somebody dies or somebody gets a new costume or whatever the case is, you know there's going to be a video on it. Whether the person that read the book themselves is going to be doing the video, or they're going to say, "Hey, Perch, guess what happens in this issue?" And then he's going to do a video on it. Like, so that's also part of the problem. That's why, like Diamond, they used to have this thing where they would send the books the Monday before, but you would have to pay to get that there. So you'd have the books on Monday instead of Wednesday, because Wednesday you'd have to sit there and wait, like what happened with today with UPS. You have to wait till UPS decided they were going to come and bring you your books and all that. And that wouldn't necessarily be good because you'd have to, inventory them all in and throw them on the shelves, do the files, whatever else. And on a Wednesday, like that's the day that people come to the store to get the books, But there also, before I owned the store, there was this thing that Marvel did where they sent you the books like 2 weeks in advance. So what you could do, books, literal books. So what you could do is you could read them. And then when you had to do the FOC to do your final order adjustments, you could judge it based on what you had just read.
That must have been before the digital age.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That was back like 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
2007, somewhere around there.
All right. I don't know.
But it wasn't, the digital stuff, it's only been going on since maybe 2009. I think DC did the first thing with a Jimmy Olsen
I think
story.
They should give reader copies, review copies for comics like this one in advance. Yeah. It would help make an educated pre-order.
To be fair, I don't know if they have or not. I can tell you.
You're a shop.
I can look. Well, yeah, but you see, whatchamacallit? Hold on. History. I can tell you right now.
You don't refresh your email often, and he's refreshing his email to see if he got readers.
No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't send. No, they don't send that stuff. They make it on. They put it on their site. I can tell you right now. Where's the resources? Oh, yep, it's not that. What does DC?
What does DC say?
I'm trying to see. I don't even know where the hell to go for this stuff. Oh, there we go. Media. No, images. See, this is the other thing too. Like trying to find where this stuff is, they don't exactly make it.
Well, what are you looking for, though?
I was looking at previews to see what they had up here. This is all image stuff now. Lunar is. Oh, there we go. So they have Fire and Ice #2, Blue Beetle #1, Wonder. Okay, so they haven't had anything recent. There's Transformers, but yeah. Usually there's DC sends an email, which is just like, hey, just know this is coming out, stuff like that, and then they'll say, hey, you can read this. They did try doing like a Dropbox kind of thing, but I don't know if they still do that anymore. And I think publisher, I would say Penguin Random House. They have Green Lantern #3, Wonder Woman #1, Blue Beetle. So they don't have anything current for DC. Gargoyle of Gotham preview.
Waste of time. There's nothing for DC. Hey, regardless.
This is what I'm saying. So yeah, so right there, I mean, they should have something.
They got to do some more. They've got to improve customer relation or comic shop relationships.
But again, how do you stop a store from spoiling? Like for instance, with the
fine then. No, that's not the solution. There
with
are
the previews that like say for they do it as a PDF.
Yes.
With the previews, like for instance, the Wonder Woman one I did. What they do is they put my account number. They have it like watermarked all over the pages.
Okay, so that should it be released, we know Rogue Comics is the one.
Exactly. But I mean, if you want to, you can be. I'm gonna use Photoshop, and do it in that way. I can put this panel where Wonder Woman gets killed. It doesn't happen, but I could put that on there and say, "Oh my God, DC's killing Wonder Woman," and then make a video out of it and then get like thousands and millions of views and stuff like that. This is part of the what.
You wouldn't get thousands for killing Wonder Woman.
What is it? But what as a company would you do then? You wouldn't want people to give away anything that happens in the issue. That you wouldn't be surprised, and people do. Spoiler alert, people do like giving away spoilers on the internet. I don't know if you've come across this at all in your travels.
My biggest enemy was I was watching a basketball video, and in the live stream, this is the week of Endgame, he didn't write a spoiler. His name, his username was Tony Stark Dies. That was his username.
Oh my god.
And so I already seen the movie because me like, Thursday evening. But still,
Uh-huh.
it was like,
Hmm.
why do people get off doing that? That's so
They
wrong.
do.
It's so
They
wrong.
do, man. They do. I don't understand it. It's right up there with those people that respond in message boards with first. That's all they say is first.
It's right
And
up there
even if
with uh,
why? What does it do? What do you get? Is your life enriched by making a post that just says literally one word first and that's it?
anything
First.
else.
I This world makes absolutely no sense to me. And if you were the ruler of Canada and I was the ruler of America, it would be a much better place.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you guys wouldn't lose basketball games to Slovenia. So to CB
Basketball.
Cebulski over here, hey, if you're doing something, you're providing information about the 60 full pages, but I do think dude already knows about that. But
Yeah.
if you think that you are that solutions need to be made, look out for them. Even the guys like me who come on YouTube and do vent, consider it feedback. Don't worry about how the guy who you see mad at you voted for. Don't worry about that stuff. That's
Mhm.
irrelevant.
It's
Don't
just it's honestly this is just weird though. Like
what
it's a Hickman book. Like I don't it's mind-boggling to me that this is like I mean,
$10.
yeah, but it's not, dude. But again, it's not Joe Schmo from down the street. This is Jonathan Hickman. Like I'm perplexed at this. Like I don't get this. There are 1,000 other writers. I'd be like, dude, you gonna make me pay $9.99 for a 60-page book for this dude? Like I don't get it. I honestly don't get it.
Yeah, you just whatever you ordered Ultimate Invasion and take your sales data that you got from that. Order just as many for this one. Hey, you want to be on the conservative side? Order 2 less comics of Ultimate Invasion for this new Hickman title, okay? Just because you don't want to risk it. That's what I would say to my man Big Bang.
Yeah.
That's that. And at that, we're out with a bang. Hey, I talked to you guys about Rocky. Comic Boom. That's the YouTuber who suggested this. Go check him out. His most recent video is on our page. Comic book reviews, DC Spotlight. Check him out. Bye.